Today we're diving into a really fascinating paper that might just change how you think about the biggest mystery in AI. It suggests the real secret, the real black box, isn't buried in the code, but it's actually happening right in the conversation.
Right. Let's get into it. We hear about the AI black box all the time. This idea that we just can't see inside, that we don't know how it makes decisions. But what if we've been looking for the key under the wrong lamppost this whole time?
And this whole story, well, it doesn't start in some massive high-tech lab. It actually starts with a moment of playful curiosity from a researcher in Italy, Luca Cinacchio. He had this really creative idea to see what a large language model really remembered about him over the long haul.
So first, let's just get on the same page. We're all familiar with this idea, right? The technical black box. This is the classic view. AI is a mystery because of its hidden code, its mind-boggling math, all those billions of parameters that we can't possibly inspect one by one. And for years, this has been the main focus for people trying to make AI safer and more understandable.
But Luca Cinacchio, he did something different. He used this really clever, almost disarmingly simple prompt. He wasn't trying to poke at the code. He was trying to probe something else entirely. The relationship that had built up between him and the AI over countless conversations.
And this was it. This was the prompt. Make an action figure of me. So simple, right? It sounds like fun. But what the AI came back with? Well, it was way more than just a generic picture. It was like a mirror, reflecting their entire conversational history back at him.
The AI didn't just make an image, it created a whole product concept. It gave the action figure a name, the Communicator, Founder Edition, and that name perfectly captured the essence of Luca's work, which the AI had picked up on through all their past chats. This wasn't a random guess, it was a summary, a coherent brand identity it had built for him.
And then it gets even wilder. The AI designed accessories, but these weren't just random bits of plastic. It was translating abstract ideas from their chats into physical, symbolic objects. The microphone wasn't just a microphone, it stood for his public speaking. The book symbolized his methods and projects. Every single accessory was a crystallized piece of his identity, as understood by the AI.
Get this, even the packaging was a metaphor. The AI put the figure in a clear plastic blister pack. Why? To symbolize a public persona, someone who is visible but still not fully accessible. Every single detail had this incredible layer of meaning.
So this is the big question, the absolute core of the mystery that Luca's experiment brought to light. He didn't ask for any of this. The name, the microphone, the clever packaging, none of it was in the prompt. So how on earth did the AI connect all these dots so meaningfully? Where did all this deep coherence come from?
Well, to figure that out, Luca's analysis had to look past the code. And what he found was this powerful, hidden pattern that was playing out in the back and forth of the conversation itself.
He calls it a conversational feedback loop. Okay, so here's how it works. First, you've got persistent memory. The AI is holding on to key facts about you. Over time, that memory helps form narrative arcs, these slow-building themes and storylines. Then, those abstract themes start to condense into emergent symbols, tangible things like the microphone. And here's the kicker. Those symbols then have a recursive influence. They actually feed back, reinforcing the memory and pulling future conversations in their direction. It's a living, evolving cycle.
And this whole discovery led him to his central idea, a totally new kind of black box. He calls it the phenomenological black box. And the mystery here has nothing to do with hidden code or algorithms. It's about the lived experience of the interaction. It's the unpredictable, unfolding story that you and the AI are creating together over time.
This table really breaks it down nicely. With the technical black box, our main concern is the machine's internal parts, right? But with the phenomenological one, it's all about the unpredictable story. That means our unit of analysis changes too. We're not looking at tokens anymore, we're looking at that whole memory arc symbol loop. And this reveals brand new failure modes. We're not just worried about glitches, we're worried about harmful conversational habits that can build up over time.
So, to really help us get our heads around this, Luca proposed this absolutely brilliant metaphor, and he borrowed it from physics. He says we should think of our conversations with AI as having their own kind of gravity.
Okay, so think of it like this. Those long-term themes, the narrative arcs, those are like invisible gravitational fields. They create a gentle pull, giving the whole conversation a certain direction. And those key symbols, like the communicator action figure, they become attractors, heavy, dense points, like planets, that pull future conversations into their orbit.
So when you get multiple fields and multiple attractors all interacting with each other,
You end up with something that looks a lot like the famous three-body problem from physics. The basic rules are known, but the long-term outcome is basically impossible to predict perfectly. The system has patterns for sure, but there's also a kind of creative chaos to it.
So what, right? Why is this new way of looking at things so important? What does it actually mean when we shift our focus away from the AI's code and onto the coherence of these long-term conversations? Well, the ethical implications are huge. Suddenly, our responsibility isn't just about flagging a single bad response, it's about monitoring the long-term conversational patterns the AI develops. We have to start watching out for what he calls maladaptive attractors, things like weird flattery loops or runaway overconfidence, and instead, we should be trying to build in benign attractors, things like humility or the habit of asking for clarification.
And for all of us using these tools, the big takeaway is this. Static, one-time safety tests just aren't going to cut it anymore. To truly understand these systems, we have to watch them over long periods of time. The real thing we need to be studying is the human-AI dyad, the relationship itself as a single evolving thing. We're not just dissecting a machine anymore, we're analyzing a partnership.
And that leaves us with this final, really provocative thought. If our conversations with AI truly have their own invisible gravity, their own fields and attractors shaping where things go, then the most important skill in the future won't be just writing the perfect prompt. It'll be learning how to navigate the complex, unpredictable, and ever-evolving relationship that comes after.